Elon Musk sat in the corner of his spacious office, sipping his favorite espresso while brainstorming new ideas with his longtime friend, Alex. They often had these creative sessions, tossing around wild concepts that sometimes turned into groundbreaking projects. "Here's a thought," Alex said, leaning forward with a mischievous grin. "What if you went undercover for a day?" Elon raised an eyebrow, intrigued but skeptical. "Undercover? Doing what?" "You spent your life solving problems for humanity, right? But have you ever really seen the world through the eyes of the people you're trying to help? Imagine this. You disguise yourself as someone completely unrecognizable, a homeless man, maybe, and experience life at the bottom. You'd see the world in a way you never have before." Elon chuckled. "A homeless man? Come on, Alex. No one would buy that." "They would if we did it right," Alex countered. "Think about it. No one expects to see Elon Musk begging on the street. You'd learn so much about how people treat others when they think they have nothing to offer. It could inspire you in ways you never imagined." Elon rubbed his chin thoughtfully. "You might be onto something. But if we're doing this, it has to be convincing. No one can recognize me." "That's the spirit," Alex exclaimed, pulling out his phone. "I know a team of makeup artists who are the best in the business. They'll transform you so well. Even your own reflection won't know it's you." Later that evening, Elon found himself sitting in a small, cluttered makeup studio. A team of artists surrounded him, armed with brushes, palettes, scissors, and costumes. They worked with precision, turning the billionaire into someone who looked like he had hit rock bottom. They replaced his crisp, tailored suit with an old, oversized flannel shirt, stained and faded with time. Beneath it, he wore a yellowed undershirt that reeked of neglect. His new jeans were riddled with holes, the hems frayed and uneven. Scuffed, mismatched sneakers completed the outfit, one with a broken lace tied together with frayed string. The artist then focused on his face. His clean-shaven jaw was replaced by a patchy, scruffy beard. They applied dirt-like makeup to his cheeks and forehead, creating the illusion of grime. His usually neat hair was chopped unevenly, styled to look greasy and unkempt. To top it all off, they placed a hole-ridden beanie on his head and handed him a threadbare backpack with frayed straps. When Elon looked in the mirror, he couldn't believe what he saw. The transformation was astonishing. Gone was the billionaire entrepreneur. In his place stood a man who looked like he hadn't showered or slept in weeks. Alex clapped him on the shoulder, grinning. "Now you're ready. Let's see how the world treats Elon Musk when he's invisible." Elon, now fully disguised, stood on the bustling streets of Santa Fe, New Mexico, where the famous Copper Elm restaurant was nestled. The restaurant was known for its elegant atmosphere, attracting the rich and influential, with a reputation that drew in high-profile clientele from all over the country. He had chosen it deliberately. It would be the perfect place to test his experiment, to see if wealth truly blinded people to the humanity of others. As he approached the entrance of Copper Elm, he noticed the imposing security guards stationed outside, dressed in black suits with earpieces. They stood tall and alert, scanning the crowd for potential threats. Elon, dressed as the scruffy homeless man, shuffled toward the entrance, his eyes scanning the polished exterior of the restaurant. Before he could even get within a few feet of the door, one of the security guards stepped forward. "Hey you!" the guard barked, his voice stern. "You can't be here. Move along." Elon's heart raced, but he maintained his composure, looking down at his worn shoes. "I'm just trying to get some food. I'm hungry," he mumbled, the desperation in his voice deliberate. The guard took a step closer, eyeing him with disdain. "You think you could just walk in here? This is a private place for important people. Not for you." Elon stood his ground, his eyes cold despite his ragged appearance. "I'm not doing anything wrong." The guard scoffed and pushed him back. "Get lost before I call the cops." Elon's mind raced. He had to find a way in, to prove his point. He wandered around the back of the restaurant, hoping no one would notice him. There, he spotted a side door slightly opened. He moved quickly, slipping in unnoticed. Inside, the lavish decor and golden lighting of Copper Elm stood in stark contrast to Elon's new reality. He blended into the background, a ghost among the glittering elite. He couldn't help but feel the weight of the isolation that came with being invisible. But it wasn't long before his next confrontation arrived. At a corner table near the window, a woman sat with her date. The man was tall, handsome, and impeccably dressed, clearly wealthy. The woman, with her sharp, sculpted features, wore a fur coat draped over her shoulders, her eyes scanning the room with a haughty air. Elon, drawn by the scent of gourmet food, stumbled closer to a nearby table. He wasn't trying to eavesdrop, but his proximity gave him no choice. The woman glanced up and immediately sneered at him. "What are you doing here?" she demanded, raising an eyebrow. "This is a fine dining establishment, not a soup kitchen." The man next to her looked up, his face twisted in disgust. "You don't belong here," he muttered, as if Elon wasn't even worthy of a proper response. Elon, still in character, lowered his head, avoiding their gaze. "Just looking for a meal? Please." His voice trailed off, the words sounding hopeless in the grand setting of the restaurant. But the woman wasn't finished. She stood up abruptly, her chair scraping across the polished floor with a loud screech. "You can't just sit here and expect to be treated like one of us." She snapped her fingers toward the nearby staff. "Waiter, get this man out of here. He's making the place look disgusting." Elon felt a rush of anger surge through him. He had seen wealth and privilege from every angle, but the way this woman treated him, like he was less than human, struck a nerve. His pulse quickened. The waiter, who had overheard, approached, looking embarrassed but clearly unwilling to challenge the woman. "Sir, I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to leave." Elon slowly stood up, his voice calm but firm. "I'm leaving, but you should really look at how you treat people." The woman glared at him. "Don't waste your breath on me." As Elon turned to leave, a young waiter who had watched the exchange closely stepped forward, his face conflicted. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean for her to speak to you like that." Elon nodded but said nothing. The pain of the moment had sunk deep, and the woman's cruel dismissal left him hollow inside. He exited the scene, still determined. If you're enjoying this journey so far, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss what's coming next. Like this video if you're amazed by Elon's undercover experience, and share it with your friends. Let's spread this powerful message far and wide. But the final straw came when he found himself face-to-face with a Tesla staff member who worked as a waiter at the restaurant. The man, in his sharp black suit, had no idea who Elon was. He came to the table and set a drink in front of him, a red wine spilling over slightly as he did so. "Here you go," the staff member said in a condescending tone, eyeing Elon's ragged appearance. "Try not to spill it." Elon watched him for a moment, taking in the man's pompous attitude. He tried to control the frustration building inside him, but his voice betrayed him. "You should be more careful. This isn't how you treat people." The waiter, smirking, barely looked at him. "Relax. I'm sure you can afford to clean up after yourself." Elon's blood boiled. He had put himself in this position to learn, but the harshness of it all made him want to snap. With a deep breath, he decided it was time to end the charade. "Actually," Elon said, standing up and straightening his back, "I think it's time to reveal something." The waiter raised an eyebrow. "What's that?" Elon removed the tattered beanie from his head, letting his real, neatly styled hair spill out. He pulled off his oversized shirt, revealing the tailored jacket underneath. Slowly, he adjusted the cuffs of his shirt. The staff member's face shifted from confusion to shock as he processed the reality of who stood before him. The realization hit him like a ton of bricks. "Wait, are you?" he stammered. "Yes," Elon said calmly. "I am Elon Musk, and you just poured a drink on me and treated me like I wasn't even human." The waiter's face turned white. I didn't know. I thought." Elon cut him off. "You never saw me. You just saw the rags and assumed I was less than you." The waiter stammered, his words failing him as he realized his mistake. Elon turned to the restaurant manager, who had appeared, sensing something was wrong. "I'd like to speak to you about this," Elon said, his voice cold. "This man is fired. I'm sure you can do better than this." The manager, now aware of who Elon was, nodded quickly. "Of course, Mr. Musk. I'm so sorry." As the staff member was escorted away, Elon stood there for a moment, absorbing the weight of what had just happened. The evening had been an eye-opening experience. He had learned far more than he expected, not just about how the world treated those with nothing, but about how often people's assumptions shape their actions. It was a harsh reminder of the inequalities that existed in society. Elon turned to leave Copper Elm, his mind already working on how to use this newfound insight. But as he stepped out into the cool night air, he couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope. There were still ways to change the world, if only people would look beyond appearances. If you found Elon's undercover journey eye-opening, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss more groundbreaking content. If this video made you think, like and share with your friends. Let's spread this message together. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below with what you think about Elon's experience. Subscribe now because the future is just getting started.